Eddie Hearn. Reaction to the weigh-in just then?
Fiery. I mean, I think George is definitely fired up. I think he feels a little bit disrespected that people are giving Jake Wyllie a shot in this fight, and you've got a young man coming to win and you know, change his life. So it's going to be a fantastic main event. Obviously the face-off between Skye and Tiara, everyone's been fire this week, and that's going to be a brilliant fight. One of the best fights in the division. Skye Nicholson, Nina Hughes, be a brilliant fight. Tiara Moana's a star in the making. Look out for Katiev as well. He's a serious beast. A brilliant night of boxing tomorrow. I can't wait.
Yeah. George looked good up there. How do you think he's going to go with the weight now? It looked a lot easier for him.
I think that sometimes you stay at a weight for so long, you don't realise how much better you can perform if you're not just dragging yourself down to 135. So I think at 140 he'll have a lot of energy. You know, Jake Wylie's a pretty big guy as well. You know, coming on a week's notice, but we're supposed to be fighting 2 weeks after tonight, so it's not like he's not ready. And he'll be dangerous in there, Jake Wyllie. But George, I think, wants to go out there and make a ferocious statement, and it's going to be a great fight.
Like you said, pretty fiery up there with Skye and Tiara before. Yeah. What's all that about, you reckon?
It's great. I mean, look, everyone's talking about that fight. It's been everywhere across social media, you know, across all the newspapers, and it's a brilliant fight. You got 12-0 against 18-0, mandatory challenger. You know, former world amateur champion Tara Brown. Obviously, Skye was in the Olympics, won the Commonwealth Games gold. It's just two brilliant fighters, and it's a dangerous fight for Skye Nicholson, but one that she can show her class in.
Hopefully, it goes down in the ring and not in the hotel room.
Yeah, I mean, it was all a bit fiery up there, but you know, I think both ready to fight. They'll refuel now. You know, obviously, don't forget everyone's making weight up there as well, so they're a bit angsty and ready to go.
Can I get a final prediction for George and Jake Wyllie?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a shootout. I really do. I think the fight ends inside 6 rounds, and it's going to be dangerous for George Kambosos. But I think, you know, his class and pedigree should be enough to come through him. I guess the question marks on George are, what does he have left? Do you know what I mean? For me, a lot. Looks good, looks strong, looks healthy. And I think he's got the bit between his teeth to really do a job tomorrow night.
Obviously, we've seen all the stuff about if he wins this, he's going to go through and hopefully fight Richard Hitchinson. Just how ready do you reckon he is, and how important?
Well, we'll see tomorrow night, because Hitchins is a fantastic fighter. You know, I mean, you're talking about, you know, levels above. You know, the same kind of levels that George has boxed at with Haney and Tiafimo and Loma. I put Hitchins on that level. So that's why tomorrow night will show us a lot about where George Kambosos is at. If he can go in there and breeze through Jake Wyllie, it makes the Hitchins fight much bigger, and you know, you give him a shot to try and become a 2-division world champion.
With Skye Nicholson, like you say, how do you see that one unfolding?
Well, it's a very tough fight. I mean, look, I think people massively underestimate Skye Nicholson. Every time they keep saying the same thing. Oh, you run, I'm going to walk you down, I'm going to beat you up, I'm going to do this. And no one ever does it. She's won nearly every round as a professional. But like I said, the pedigree of this fighter, you know, and I think it's a tough fight. I believe the pedigree, the foot movement, and the judging of distance from Skye Nicholson will be too much for Tiara Brown. But she's a good fighter.
Yeah. Do you think, like you say, with that distance control and that boxing IQ, you see it a lot in social media, like people saying people are runners. You see it a lot with Shakur Stevenson.
Same. I mean, look,
do you think it's very
similar.
underappreciated?
I really feel like Skye and Shakur are quite similar in their styles. I mean, they're both the judging of distance and the defence and the movement. It's an art. I mean, the whole art of boxing is hit and don't get hit. You know, and you know, Skye Nicholson has had 12 fights. I don't think she's been hit 12 times in 12 fights. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think she has the ability, if she needs it, to bite down on a gumshoe. I think sometimes people look at her and look at her style and go, yeah, but once I really get you, this is not someone that's just walked into boxing. She's had 140 amateur fights. You know, she's been in major tournaments all around the world. She's boxed the best amateurs for years and years. She won the world title against the #1 on BoxRec. She beat another top 3 fighter on BoxRec and Ring Magazine. She's beaten Vargas. She stopped Wildheart. Like, the pedigree of opponents that Skye has faced is much better than Tiara Brown. But that's also because Tiara hasn't quite had the backing that Skye's had, so she's been put forward in those fights. So again, like Jake Wyllie, until you step up to that level, you never really know if you are that level. And Tiara will find out if she's that level tomorrow night. If she is, it's going to be an unbelievable fight. And if Jake is, it's going to be an unbelievable fight. But in that moment, you've got to be good enough to step up against the true quality of elite world fighters.
If Skye does get through tomorrow night, what do you think's next for her?
Just unify. You know, she wants to become undisputed. Those belts are difficult to get hold of. Obviously, Serrano's keeping 2 of those warm. I don't think she'll ever fight at featherweight again. So, you know, but these fighters, sometimes they have the ability to drop to super bantam, go up to super feather. And, you know, I think that the publicity that Skye has had this week, and a lot of that's through Tiara Brown as well. You know, she's done a brilliant job. If you can go out and put a great performance together, your stock goes through the roof, and this is the fight that could turn her into a big star.
Cheers, Eddie.
Cheers, mate.